Allchurches Trust has been on quite a journey with regard to impact measurement over the last couple of years. And we've been growing in our understanding of the impact that our funding has on those that we give grants to and how we can measure our own success. Now, as part of that process, we've been working on being clearer about what we're looking for from applicants about the impacts and outcomes they hope to achieve, and providing resources to help applicants with project planning. And that second aspect is really key because good impact measurement starts with good project planning. So being clear about what you're going to do and how it's going to make a difference. But before you even get to what you're going to do, it's important to be clear about why you're going to do something at all. So if you're applying to Allchurches Trust for a grant, one of the key things we'll ask you to tell us about is the need or opportunity that you want to respond to through the project. And anything you can tell us about how you know it exists. Perhaps you've carried out some research or some surveys, or have some other way you can show us why this project is important for you to carry out and why you need our help to fund it. Then we ask you to give us a summary of the eventual impact or the ultimate difference you want to make through the project and how it relates to the need or opportunity that you've told us about. Next, we ask for that eventual impact to be broken down into outcomes, so the short to medium term changes you want to see that will contribute to that eventual impact or the difference you want to eventually make. Now, for bigger projects, it's likely there'll be quite a few outcomes. For smaller projects, perhaps just a couple or maybe even just one. But no matter how many outcomes you have, we think these are what is really most important to measure in some way, and therefore to work out what information you need to capture and how you're going to capture it to know whether you're achieving those outcomes. Starting a new group or activity and counting how many people are attending it is helpful and good to measure. It's really the difference or the change there's been as a result of the new group that's more important and therefore particularly good to think about how to measure. Finally, we ask, what do you need to help achieve your outcomes in order to see that eventual impact happen and therefore meet the need or seize the opportunity that you've told us about? Is it better buildings or equipment or new resources or perhaps more people? Essentially, what do you need a grant for? You'd be surprised how many applications we receive where that really isn't all that clear. Now, the kinds of costs that we will help to fund varies in our grants programs, but the principle is the same. Being clear about what our grant would be spent on and therefore ultimately what it will help to achieve. Now, sometimes people say to us, well, we've only got a small project. It's not going to cost all that much. Why do you need all this information? Well, we're certainly not trying to make life difficult for anyone. The truth is that the information we ask for and the format we ask for it in helps us to understand what our funding will help to achieve. And that's really important because we have to be able to demonstrate that we've used our funds well, whether we're helping to fund small projects or larger ones. But we really hope that what we ask applicants to provide also helps them to think clearly about why they're embarking on their project, what it will achieve, and ultimately how to know whether they've made the difference through it that they were hoping to. And that's important for projects of all sizes. And knowing whether you've made the difference you set out to make is, of course, where measuring the success of your project ultimately comes in. It may not always be easy, but it's certainly possible if you've really thought about what success would look like early on in your planning. Of course, we love to hear about what's happened through the projects we've helped to fund, and the feedback we look for will depend on the grants program you've applied to. And we normally give around 1,200 grants a year, so we can't ask for or read detailed reports on every project. But if you receive a grant from us, do keep in touch with us about what you've achieved with our help, whether that's through formal reports or responding to surveys we send out, or more informally. We love to share stories and case studies on our website to help encourage and inspire others thinking about applying to us. And if you decide to apply to us again in the future, it will certainly be helpful to know the difference that you've been able to make with our help previously. Well, you can find out more about what we fund, how to apply, and access a wide range of resources to help you plan your project and think about how you'll measure its success on our website at www.allchurches.co.uk. along with examples of some of the impactful projects we've helped to fund previously.